Hi, in this video we're heading down to Nashville. So get on your hat, get on your boots, get on your check shirt, get ready to boot scoot, because we're reviewing a book by James Patterson and Dolly Parton. Yes, I said Dolly Parton. She's co-authored a book with James Patterson. When I found out that was going to happen and this book was coming out, I had mixed feelings. I didn't know what to expect. I found out a little bit about the book, that it's meant to be about a young woman who's trying to find stardom and there's something in her past that could be a threat. So I thought, okay, could be an okay thriller. I'll give it a go. Here's the book. It's called Run Rose Run. It's an okay book. Probably mediocre. It's not wonderful. It's not that gripping, to be honest. There's not a lot of thrills, a lot of suspense. It's mainly about a young woman's search for stardom and some of the obstacles that are in her way as she finds her way in Nashville. And if that's what the book's meant to be about, it did a good job. It was meant to be a thriller. There's one or two elements that could be a thriller, but not much. And so it kind of fails at being a thriller. But it being a story about a young woman trying to be a country singer, you know, if that was the main reason why you're reading it, you'd give it 5 stars. I thought it was going to be more of a thriller. We're introduced to our main character, Annie Lee Keyes, quite early on. She's going to be the main focus for all the story. She's hitchhiking her way to Nashville. She hasn't got a guitar because she pawned it to try to get money to go to Nashville. But when she gets there, she thinks, that's not going to stop me. I'll just ask around to all the local pubs in the area, see if someone can loan me a guitar, get up on stage and sing. That's what she does. And she starts doing that quite early on. So the book doesn't waste much time in getting her on stage and getting her singing and having people amazed at her voice and amazed at her beauty as well, because she keeps getting described as beautiful. And that's said many, many times in the book, not countless times. And I don't know why we keep having to be reminded about how beautiful she is, but apparently that's very important. Quite early on, a guy called Ethan, who's also, a wannabe singer, trying to get famous, hears Annie Lee singing at this pub, this local bar. He's blown away by her voice, more so by her beauty, I think. Everyone thinks that the reason he's taking so much attention of her is because of her beauty, more than the voice, but apparently her voice is amazing. He works as a session musician for this other singer who's retired, but was one of the best singers in Nashville or the country scene at the time before her retirement. So he races back there and says, you've got to see this singer Annie Lee, she's brilliant. This other singer who's 40s now is like, oh, can't be bothered, I'm not interested. How many people try to tell me they're the best singers and they turn out to be rubbish, blah, 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 blah. This goes on for about 50 or so pages, this back and forth, text messaging, come see her, quick. And she's going, no, don't waste my time, stop bothering me, back and forth, keeps going on. And finally she turns up at this bar to listen to Annie Lee sing, and she's blown away. And for some reason, she wants to be Annie Lee's fairy godmother. And she says, Annie Lee, come back to my house, you can stay there, free of charge, I'll feed you, I'll clothe you, I'll give you a home, and I'll turn you into a star. Annie Lee is not one to take things for granted or accept gifts, and from strangers. So after a night, she runs away, basically leaves a note, thanks for that, I've taken a guitar from you, because that's what you do, steal from strangers, and I'll see you around sometime. And she's back to going around to pubs and bars, just trying to find a gig to get on stage and sing in front of people. A few other things happen. So we get our first kind of thriller element happening. Someone following Annie Lee, it seems. Is it more than one person? We don't know. She gets the impression she's being stalked. A couple of things happen, and Annie Lee winds up back at the other country singer's house. And from then on, it's just a story about Annie Lee getting some demo songs together, getting a manager, getting a contract, and becoming a singer. That's the main story. Oh, and also falling in love with Ethan. So we have that love story going on in the background as well between Annie Lee and Ethan. They're both guitar players, they're both singers, they're both songwriters, and they fall in love. So it's kind of like a fairy tale type of book as well. The thriller action, it's there in small bits in part of the book, and then some of it happens towards the end. But the things that happen towards the end are just so out of character for the book, and so out of character for the characters as well, some of the things. And because the characters aren't that great, it doesn't really make sense and doesn't really feel believable at the end. So I find that in a lot of these books that if the characters make more sense, if they're more real, then the events that happen feel real because of that. But the events in this book, especially towards the end, didn't feel real. It felt like a really bad way to wrap up the story. And I don't know why they wrapped it up this way. And I don't know if it was intentional at the very start to plot it like that, but it just didn't work for me at the end. Annie Lee is our main character, the person trying to find fame. She's just not believable for me. She is just too perfect. Everything about her is she's perfect. She's beautiful. She sings like an angel. She plays the guitar wonderfully. She's just the most perfect character, most perfect person to ever go to Nashville and try to be a singer. It just didn't feel real. And they could have given her a few more flaws. Even though she's got a couple of little secrets that are going on, and we find more about that in the novel, I still felt like they tried to create her as a too perfect character. Ethan feels more like a real character. He's got a really good backstory. All those backstory motivates him in his present timeline. He feels more rounded, more real, more lifelike. So I did think Ian was a good character and I enjoyed him in the book. There are certain parts that I didn't quite like, just small things about him, but on the whole, I think he was probably the most well-developed character in this whole book. Ruth Anna is the retired country singer that wants to be the fairy godmother to Annie Lee. I'm not too sure what to think about Ruth Anna. In some ways, she's a good character. She has some light and shade. So even though she's trying to be this fairy godmother and too nice for words to Annie Lee, she can also bite people's heads off and be a bit tough with them if they cross her or if they don't do what she says quick enough. So she's kind of like a bit of a Mother Goose, fairy godmother type character, but with sharp teeth and claws. And she'll take a piece out of you if she wants to. So in a way, she's a bit more realistic than Annie Lee, but not as much as Ethan. Even though I think Dolly is wonderful, this book isn't wonderful. It's mediocre, average, and that's being kind, really. I rate it a 3 out of 5. I rate it a 3 out of 5 because some of the characters are okay. It worked for what it is. It wasn't the thriller that I expected, but I guess the writing was okay, and the overall storyline was, even though it's a bit cheesy, it was an okay storyline. I get the impression that Dolly co-authored this mainly because it gave her a chance to release an album linked to the book. And so, people are going to read the book and then they're going to be interested in the music and listen to that. She gets the book credits, and she also gets music credits. So it's kind of win-win for Dolly. James Patterson gets another famous name on one of his books. I think he's co-authored with Bill Clinton and some other famous people as well. So now he's got Dolly Parton. I don't know who's going to co-author with James Patterson next. Is he going to get more famous people? We're going to see Elon Musk. We're going to see Bill Gates. Although, for some reason, I thought that already happened, but maybe it hasn't. We're going to see, I don't know, Marilyn Manson, and that would be a bit of a mix-up, wouldn't it? So, don't know what that book would be like. Stick with co-authoring with other authors, I think, anyway. I do review other James Patterson novels on my channel. If you don't want to miss out on those, check out my channel and subscribe. I also have a thriller playlist. It should be on your screen now.